a Louisiana high school is now threatening to punish students for not being patriotic enough. Now, this isn't just students, this is student athletes. Now, this is happening in Parkway High School, which is located in northwestern Louisiana, in the Bossier Parish. Now, Bossier Parish, I don't think I said that right, but they overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump in the election, just to show you where they're at politically. Now, the principal, Waylon Bates, has decided to threaten to either suspend or completely cut students off the team who refuse to stand for the national anthem, who actually use their First Amendment rights to take a knee to protest along the lines of Colin Kaepernick. Now, Bates called these demonstrations a, quote, disruption in a letter sent Thursday to both students and parents. In the letter, he says Parkway High School requires student athletes to stand in a respectful manner throughout the national anthem during any sporting event in which your team is participating. Failure to comply will result in a loss of playing time and our participation as directed by the head coach and principal. Continued failure to comply will result in removal from the team. So either stand for the national anthem, don't exercise your First Amendment rights to protest, or get kicked off the team. Forced patriotism, man. How do you like that? I thought this was America. Apparently not. Forcing someone to stand for their national anthem, it's not something that America does or should do. That's something that North Korea does. That's something that every dictatorial regime we say we hate uses. These are the countries that say you must stand for the flag, you must stand for the anthem, on penalty of whatever. In some places, North Korea, for example, penalty of death. And here, at least, the students, the principals, are like, in penalty of you being kicked off the team. You can't go and you can't play sports, you can't enjoy the sport that you dedicate yourself to unless you stand for the anthem. Because if you don't stand for the anthem or respect the flag and all that stuff, well, that triggers me, and I'm a snowflake, and I can't stand any sort of political dissent, so I'm going to remove you from the team. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And look, the thing is, this is America. We have a right to protest, right? And that's what this is about. It's not about the veterans. It's not about respecting the veterans. It's not about respecting the flag. And it never was. So the whole veteran angle is nothing but a red herring that the Republicans, that conservatives threw into this, right? This protest is and always has been about police brutality and systemic racism. It's not about, like I said, the veterans. It's not about the troops either. And it's also not about respect. It's about people of color being murdered in the streets. People like Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, Freddie Gray, and so many others that were killed by police, and there was no consequences in many of these. I mean, look, there's a reason that when people, that people don't demonstrate on behalf of actual criminals. Why? It's because they're usually arrested, tried, and put in prison. The thing is, these people, not criminals, these people were unarmed, or, innocent, or they had done something very, very small to provoke a police presence, selling loose cigarettes on the street, or not turning on your turn signal. That's not justifiably, that's not it doesn't lead to a justifiable response of violence and death. In the case of Eric Garner, they literally choked him to death for selling loose cigarettes. That's ridiculous, okay? And yet, the police officers, in many of these cases, do not get punished. That's why there are protests. That's why this is happening. It's, again, not about the veterans, not about any of that. In a lot of these cases, you've seen it. These cops keep their job. And look, I'm not saying that police are bad, or all police are bad. I'm actually blaming more of the system, right? The system itself is built on a foundation of racism. And not only that, but you've got bad training that emphasizes shoot first, ask questions later. That's why Tamir Rice was gunned down in 2 seconds for having a toy gun. Oh, he looks suspicious. He looks suspicious. Well, he was a young black man playing with a toy gun. That's suspicious enough for them to pull up and murder him in 2 seconds. It's out of control. Out of control. And look, these protests, they're here to highlight the fact that it is out of control. That we actually need some change. And we actually need to do something. But unfortunately, they have been maligned and misattributed to something else in order to distract from their true purpose. And to make sure that the issues that this entire protest is there to highlight do not ever get fixed. And those are the issues, of course, white privilege. I know some people get triggered when I say that, but basically, let me break down what white privilege is real quick. It's having the benefit of the doubt. It's not being pulled over just for the color of your skin. It's not being assumed to be guilty based on the color of your skin. It's the benefit of the doubt. That's the privilege that we have. And we don't realize it's a privilege because we've always had it. But there are people in this country that do not have that privilege. And these are the people that are kneeling during the anthem. Okay? And look, not only that, but you have a justice system that is, again, deeply racist. Where we have a disproportionate number of African Americans, people that are arrested for the same crimes as white people, doing the same thing, that end up getting more jail time, harsher sentences than their white counterparts. That is not normal. That is racism. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people that cannot admit that this country does have a huge problem with race. And this is not a new problem. It is the same old problem that we've had in America for hundreds of years. And unfortunately, it's not going to get better unless you bring attention to it. And these protests are a great way of doing it. And the people that are angry at these protests, and they're saying, well, we got to find another way. This is not the way to protest. This is not the way to protest. Those are the people in which you could never please them with any type of protest. These are the people that say, we just don't want you to protest at all. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.